Welcome to RiskDoctor.com. This is Charles Cottle. Today I'm going to talk about the market maker mindset. In where we last left our heroes in the covered call conundrum, the investor did covered rights, bought stock and sold calls. Well, here I'm going to show you what happens when a market maker buys those calls. Okay, so I'm going to enter a 5-lot long, and it looks like a long call. If you look at the graph below, most of you are familiar from the last video what's going on here. You got the setup over here, you got calls and theoretical values and deltas, and put theoretical values and deltas, and vertical prices and butterflies. Over here is our money management. Down here in the lower left are our Greeks. Here's our P&L in the bottom, and here's our graph. Okay, I want to show you then what happens if a market maker, and I used to think this when I started off in General Motors back in 1981, I thought it was the smart money against the dumb money, and I thought the market makers were the smart people and everybody else was dumb, and what we were doing was betting against them. And so when a big order of calls came in to buy or sell, the paper would be wrong, the order flow would be wrong. I was the dumb one. I didn't realize it, and I didn't understand why everybody else was trading with no emotion, and I was always crossing my fingers. Well, I'd never traded stock against anything. Well, I'm here to tell you that every time a market maker buys or sells options, the immediate thing that they do is trade stock or futures, if that's what it is, or cash if they're in the Forex market, delta neutral against that, based on that thing called the delta, that rate of change of the theoretical value. So right now, if I bought a 5-lot and my delta is 39, call it 40, 39.6. Sorry, it's 39, round it to 40. If I buy a 5-lot times 0.4, that means I got to sell 200 shares. So a market maker is going to sell 200 shares against that. I'll enter it right in here. So lo and behold, what do I have? Okay, well, I have something that's akin to a ratioed straddle. Okay, so there's my ratioed straddle. Now, what price am I long the ratioed straddle? Well, right now, we see that the real call is 2. I bought 5, but I sold 2 underlying, 2 units of underlying. So I've turned 2 of those into what? Long 2 synthetic puts. Well, what are the puts going for? $4 right underneath. You know, if I did them right here at the numbers, that's what it would amount to. So if I'm long 2 puts at 4 and I'm long 3 real calls at 2, that's 800 plus 600 is 1400. That's why the adjusted net synthetic position is I got $1,400 on the table. Now, even though I have shorted stock that's $10,600 in my pocket, and I've paid $200 for each of these 5 lots of calls, that's $1,000. I got $9,600 in my pocket. Isn't that somehow important? And the answer is no. No, it's not. For all intents and purposes, if this thing goes out worthless, which is the worst thing that can happen to me, is the stock going to 55, I'm going to lose $1,400. We can do a what if. If we go out at $55, what's my stock that I'm short going to lose? It's going to lose $600 because I'm shorted at 53. And it's going to go to 55, so I'm going to lose $200 each time. That's $400. Okay? And what about the calls I bought? They're going to be worthless, right? And what did I pay for those? 5 times 2 is $1,000. 5 times 200 is $1,000. $1,000 lost on the calls. $400 lost on the stock. That's $1,400. It's the same $1,400 synthetically as if I was long 3 calls going for $2 and 2 puts going for $4. Now, what I didn't say, and I hope you didn't rely on this, is a market maker, if it's worth $2, they're probably going to be 190 bid at 210 or 195 bid at 205. You know, they're going to make a bid and offer surrounding that. But so I'm just using theoretical values, and I've set the implied volatility level so it's nice and easy to do the math in our heads. Okay? So this has been a market maker mindset number one. And this is what a market maker does. They buy options and then they trade the stock or futures against the delta neutral, or they sell options and trade the stock against the delta neutral. When they buy calls, they sell stock. When they sell calls, they buy stock. When they buy puts, they have to buy stock, delta neutral. And when they sell puts, they sell stock, delta neutral. And every trade they make is a synthetic ratioed straddle, long or short. When they're buying options, they're long synthetic straddles. When they're short options, they are short synthetic straddles. And the market maker's favorite position is no position at all, flat. So what they try to emulate, because they're not going to be flat, because they buy something, they might have it for a month, they can't get rid of it. They bought it undervalued, it might take a while before they could sell it overvalued or fair valued. So they inventory longs and shorts, and they try and stay Greek neutral, delta, gamma, vega, theta, and neutral to something called the skew. And it's kind of complicated, but we're just going to keep it simple for right now. And you can see down here that the Greeks, the deltas are very slim. The market maker's long gamma, long premium, who wants it to move, but the next trade he might be selling, or she might be selling premium, and maybe at a different strike. So they end up with things like risk reversals and risk conversions. It's kind of complicated. It's not necessary in this lesson. It's in chapter 9 of my old book, Options, Perception, and Deception. If you want to become a market maker, it's in the rare book section of Amazon.com. Go have a ball. Risk reversal syndrome. I left it out of the new book for retail audience. It's not really important, but I did want to give you at least this mindset of what a market maker does. So thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to working with you again in the future. Take care.